Review 2023.
At the Bank of Nevis, we know you have your personal as well as your business needs, and we're here to help. Our knowledgeable staff will work with you to help you achieve the financial success that you or your company needs in a competitive market. We offer solutions that make your banking experience easier, like our savings and checking accounts. Be sure to ask about our youth savers accounts and our Bank of Nevis Gold Club. We offer a wide range of personal loans, including mortgage, land, student, auto, and consumer loans. Have access to your funds instantly with our BeOnline internet banking and our debit and credit cards. We make international banking and investing easy. How's your business? Give it the leverage it really needs by letting the Bank of Nevis assist you with all the necessary funding for all your business expenses. It's that easy. What are you waiting for? The Bank of Nevis Limited, improving the quality of life.
Welcome back, and now the national news segment from January to April. The St. Christopher ANC Ports Authority SCASPA confirmed that an aircraft which departed the Robert L. Bradshaw International Airport in St. Kitts for the Turks and Caicos Islands in early January made an emergency water landing off Salt Cay. SCASPA was pleased to report that to the public that 4 occupants, 3 of whom are nationals of St. Kitts and Nevis and the other from Costa Rica, were found alive and well. According to the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Overseas Missions, the Right Honorable Dr. Denzel Douglas's Facebook page, the 4 occupants of the Cessna aircraft were rescued by a local fisherman, Mr. Kellison Talbert, and were taken to the Grand Turks for medical attention. Dr. Patricia Bartlett of the Nevis Reformation Party NRP filed an election petition to challenge the results of the December 12, 2022 Nevis Island Assembly elections. In the 2022 election, the Concerned Citizens Movement CCM party won 3 seats, while NRP won 2 seats. CCM's leader and incumbent for Nevis 2, Premier the Honorable Mark Brantley, said although he got word about the petition, he cannot comment on the matter because he has not been made aware of the specifics. Dr. Bartlett lost by 147 votes. Also, NRP's candidate for Nevis 1 St. Paul's Parish, Ms. J.D. Keynes, officially filed a petition with the High Court of Justice of St. Christopher Nevis Circuit to challenge the results of the December 12, 2022 elections in the Nevis 1 St. Paul's constituency. Ms. Keynes lost by 27 votes to the incumbent Concerned Citizens Movement CCM, Spencer Brand. This was the second election petition that the party filed. After hearing arguments to strike out election petitions eventually, High Court Judge Justice Patrick Thompson Jr. reserved his decision in that matter. The strikeout applications were filed by respondents. Among them were Premier Honorable Mark Brantley and Honorable Spencer Brand of the Concerned Citizens Movement CCM party. NRP's leader, Dr. Janice Daniel Hodge, gave the VOA Newsline this comment on the case.
As leader of this party, therefore, I wish to advise that the Honorable Cleon Stapleton Simmons has been conditionally suspended from the institutions of the NRP pending the finding
to be rendered on the 27th of February. As I understand, he will render his judgment, and whatever cost, he will also suggest that on that date. Both sides presented the arguments, and I think only the judge can safely say what the outcome will be. We made a commitment that we will pursue justice, and we have gotten to this point, and we await the judge's decision.
But CCM's leader, Dr. Brantley, stated during the On the Mark show
our application to the court centered around the fact that these petitions were bad in law. And the court heard the arguments, but I think I can say that it is a matter of trite law, that election petitions are a peculiar species of case. And what we have argued from day one is that Dr. Patricia Bartlett and the J.D. Keynes were hopelessly out of time, that their petitions were hopelessly bad.
Dr. Brantley. A fatal shooting incident occurred in Bath Village, Nevis on Wednesday, January 11th and resulted in Nevis recording its first homicide for 2023. Investigations revealed that 45-year-old Javier Charles of Bath Village and 26-year-old Javan Grant were sitting in the vicinity of a bar in Bath Village when two armed masked assailants approached and shot at them. The assailants then fled the scene. Grant collapsed and Charles ran. Both victims were subsequently transported in a private vehicle to the Alexandra Hospital. Grant was pronounced dead upon arrival at the hospital. Charles was warded in a stable condition. Lawmen seized the first illegal firearm for 2023 on the island of Nevis. Superintendent of Police James Sutton confirmed the seizure to the VON Newsline. Circumstances are that on the afternoon of Thursday, January 5th, at around 2:15 p.m., police officers and soldiers from the St. Kitts and Nevis Defence Force stopped and searched a vehicle while conducting an operation in Gingerland. Following the search, police seized one 380 pistol with 380 rounds of ammunition. Andres Bartlett was held in custody in relation to the illegal firearm. Are negotiations continuing for an equitable amount of revenue from the CBI program for Nevis? This question was posed to the Prime Minister on January 18, 2023. Here is Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew.
What existed with respect to the St. Kitts Nevis arrangement, there was what you call budgetary support of, I think, $5 million a month. That still continues. However, in speaking to the Premier, we had decided that we are going to put a committee together. That committee will look at matters of the relationship of St. Kitts and Nevis, the revenue sharing arrangement, and so that committee is being put together.
Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew. Still in January, 726 men were screened at a prostate screening at occasions in Pennis, Nevis on the morning of Saturday, January 14th. The screening was held by a group of urologists, otherwise known as Urology Associates, of which Dr. Dwayne Thwaites is the president. Meantime,
when I started my business in 1989, all I had in my pocket was $100. And people of Nevis was there for me. I was going to the horse race, club trimming, any major event, cricket, there was always there.
That was owner of Sunshine's Bar and Grill, Mr. Llewellyn Sunshine Keynes. The restaurant's well-known rum punch, the Killer Bee, was recently titled by Caribbean Journal as the best rum punch in the Caribbean. Also,
I, Michelle Jan Sari Black, do solemnly and sincerely declare that I will faithfully bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors according to law.
That was the voice of the newly appointed president of the Nevis Island Assembly, the Honorable Michelle Slack Liburd, during the first sitting held on Thursday, January 19th, 2023. Her predecessor, Mr. Farrell Smithen, was first nominated as president of the NIA in 2013, following the NIA's election, and was unopposed. He served for 10 years until Ms. Slack's appointment. Previously, he served as clerk of the House. The Nevis Sixth Form College is expected to be separated from the Charlestown Secondary School in the near future. This was announced by Deputy Governor General for Nevis, Her Honor, Mrs. Hyleta Liburd, OBE, MH, during the throne speech of the opening of the new session of the Nevis Island Assembly on Thursday, January 19, 2023. The speech was centered on the newly appointed government's plan for their 5-year term in office. Still in national news, the St. Kitts Labour Party, SKNLP, and the People's Action Movement, PAM, political parties celebrated their 90th and 58th anniversaries respectively this year. PLP, that's the People's Labour Party, 10 years. On Nevis, the Concerned Citizens Movement, CCM, 37 years, and the Nevis Reformation Party, NRP, 53 years. And those were highlights for January. We now take a look at February. A man was sentenced to almost 27 years in prison for the murder of his companion. Wayne Chapman of Hanleys Road, Nevis, otherwise known as Spire, was sentenced to 27 years in prison. Chapman, 57, was found guilty by a majority verdict on December 9, 2022, for the murder of 45-year-old Shirley Dawn Morton. The incident occurred on January 21, 2018 at Box Hill, Nevis. Following her death, Chapman was on the run for a few days as he was wanted by police for questioning. Equally, lawmen captured him in Taylor's pasture, Gingerland. The sentence commenced when his remand started 5 years ago. Her Excellency Ms. Marcella Liebert JP was sworn in as the Federation's first female Governor General, GG. Her Excellency Liebert succeeds His Excellency Samuel Weymouth Tapley Seaton, GCMG, CVO, QC, JP, LLD, who was appointed as Head of State in 2015. Ms. Liebert has served St. Kitts and Nevis in various capacities as a teacher, lawyer, senator, deputy speaker, speaker of the National Assembly, and cabinet minister of the federal government. His Majesty King Charles III appointed her as the first female Governor General of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. The Nevis Island administration was the victim of a cyber attack. A cyber attack is any attempt to gain unauthorized access to a computer, computing system, or computer network with the intent to cause damage. The attack caused a hamper in the ability to carry out a number of services and tasks in the public sector throughout a period of time. Speaking on the issue was Premier of Nevis, the Honorable Mac Brantley.
It is the first time that we are aware that this has happened, but we have had what is referred to as ransomware. Individuals hack our system, seek to control it, and then demand a ransom in order to give us back our data. I can't get into too many details except to say that our team has been responding valiantly to this, and we will continue to keep the public updated. But this is an unprecedented situation for us. And we are aware, because we see it on the news, of organizations and criminality and who steal your money hiding behind a computer screen. Well, they have now come at the Nevis Island government.
Honorable Brantley. In the midst of an impasse on Nevis, specifically for the opposition side of the Nevis Island Assembly, Deputy Leader of the Nevis Reformation Party, NRP, and elected representative for St. Thomas's Parish, Nevis 5, the Honorable Cleon Stapleton Simmons, has set the record straight. She spoke of NRP's leader, the Honorable Dr. Janice Daniel Hodge, during an interview on a Grenadian talk show called The Narrative.
Now, I just wish to say on record that the leader of the opposition is not really an issue. I think that was somewhat misconstrued by persons in Nevis, the general public, and in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. And so the leader of the party, even though it is not absolutely automatic for her to be the leader of the opposition, she does have my support in order to be the leader of the opposition.
Cleon Stapleton Simmons. After 3 days of presentations and rebuttals, the Nevis Appropriation 2023 bill was passed into law in the Nevis Island Assembly on Thursday, February 23rd. The 2023 budget was presented under the theme, Charting the Pathway to Socio-Economic Transformation, Investing to Accelerate Growth. It is to the tune of EC $261,650,850 an increase of over $30 million, as the 2022 budget was to the tune of easy $229.04 million. And that was February's highlight. Up next is March. Mr. James Sutton was installed as Commissioner of Police. Commissioner of Police, COP, retired Mr. Hilroy Brandy, QPM JP, stated, "Please accept my congratulations and best wishes as you prepare to take up the responsibilities and challenges of the office of the Commissioner." Mr. Brandy proceeded to his retirement on February 23, 2023. One of the founding members of the Nevis Reformation Party, NRP, former politician and businessman Mr. Uriel St. Swanston, passed away at the age of 86 on Friday, March 10th. The current leader of the Nevis Reformation Party, Dr. Janice Daniel Hodge, gave the VOA Newsline this comment upon learning of his passing.
The entire NRP family is saddened to have learned of the passing of Mr. Swanston. Back in 1970, he was one of those who would have put his family and business aside and really look out for the people of Nevis when they set out to establish the Nevis Reformation Party. And so we're definitely saddened. He would have been one of the pillars of the founding NRP and a source of strength to us as we continue.
Akila Byron Nesbitt announced on Friday, March 24th, her resignation from the People's Labour Party, PLP. The announcement was made during a statement she shared on her Facebook page.
After the elections, I did some soul searching to determine the best path forward. What I did realize is that the party and leadership I once believed in had strayed away from its core principles, which no longer align with mine. If one wants to keep moving forward and upward, one will eventually have to let go of the load that is tying one's feet to the ground and hindering progress. I, therefore, must state here that I have made the decision to step away from the umbrella of the People's Labour Party with Dr. Timothy Harris as leader. As of March 24th, 2023, I am no longer a part of the executive or the member of the People's Labour Party.
Mrs. Byron Nesbitt served as the party's deputy leader, senator and deputy speaker of the National Assembly from 2016 to 2020 and Minister of Health, Information and Communications Technology, ICT, Entertainment, Entrepreneurship and Talent Development in the Team Unity administration. And the Executive Board of the International Monetary Fund, IMF, concluded the Article 4 consultation with St. Kitts and Nevis on March 15, 2023. Based on the report from the fund, St. Kitts and Nevis's economic growth rebounded strongly in 2022 despite global headwinds. The lifting of all COVID-related travel restrictions in August 2022 sparked a strong rebound in the tourism sector and across the economy. And that ends March. Up next is April. A number of persons residing on the northwestern side of St. Kitts were said to have woken up on the morning of April 6th to find hail on their property. Hail is a form of precipitation consisting of solid ice that forms inside a thunderstorm updraft. Although not common in the Federation, Senior Meteorological Officer at the St. Kitts Met Office, Mr. Elmer Burke, said,
"We at the Met Office, we would have ventured out to verify and have discussion with persons who might have witnessed a hail falling. We were unable to see actual hail on the ground. However, based on the conditions that is being experienced in the northwestern part of the island where we have intense thunderstorm activity with heavy showers, moderate to heavy showers, as well coupled with the video as well as the personal account of individuals, I would venture to say that we actually had hail falling."
Elmer Burke. Still in April, Chief Medical Officer CMO Dr. Hazel Laws confirmed to the nation in April the outbreak of gastroenteritis.
Over the past few weeks, several children and adults in the Federation have been diagnosed with acute gastroenteritis. Acute gastroenteritis is a common infectious disease syndrome marked by irritation and inflammation of the stomach and intestines, causing a combination of fever, abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting, and/or diarrhea. Acute gastroenteritis is caused by many infectious agents or pathogens. However, the most common cause is a virus, but it can be caused by bacteria.
According to Dr. Laws, this outbreak is not unique to St. Kitts and Nevis, as a similar trend is observed in several CARICOM member states. Lawmen have provided an update about the boating incident that occurred on Nevis on the afternoon of Wednesday, April 19th. Investigations reveal that Ishmael Hanley, a 58-year-old Jessop's resident, succumbed to injuries inflicted by the propeller of a passing boat. On board were 2 crew members, 7 guests, and the captain. While at an approximate distance of 5 minutes or half a mile offshore, the boat captain reported that he felt the impact of something under the boat. Upon check-in, he saw a man, later identified as Hanley, in the water, waving for assistance. The captain took Hanley onto the boat and transported him to the Charleston Pier, where he was then transported to the Alexandria Hospital, but was pronounced dead on arrival. And on Saturday, April 29th, the Gingerland Secondary School hosted its Miss GSS Pageant 2023 as part of its 50th anniversary celebrations. Miss Nikelsia Kelly walked away with the victor's crown with a total of 631 points. First runner-up was Miss Mariah Daniel with 609 points, and second runner-up Janiqua Griffin with a total of 564 points. The other contestants were Brianna Stewart and Lakeisha Clark. And that's the month of April. When we come back, we will bring you highlights from May to August with Donella Thompson.
Supermarket shoppers understand that convenience matters. At Hortspur's Value Mart IGA, we know that price matters most. Ample parking and the widest variety matter. At Hortspur's Value Mart IGA, we know that price matters most. Clean, spacious aisles and the highest level of customer service all matter. At Hortspur's Value Mart IGA, price matters most. We've renewed our commitment to guarantee the lowest prices in the Federation. Why? Because we understand that in this tough economic environment, price matters most. Shop smart. Shop Value Mart, where price matters most. Farms Estate Nevis and Wellington Road, St. Kitts.
Price matters most.
Welcome back, and now for the highlights for the month of May.
We spoke of the landmark project to build a bridge between St. Kitts and Nevis. That vision is still alive. That is being pursued. Already we've had at least 2 major developers that have an interest in pursuing that particular project.
Minister of Foreign Affairs and Investment and St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party SKNLP's representative for constituency number 6, Dr. Denzel Douglas. At that time, Dr. Douglas pointed out that the long-talked-about bridge was one of 3 major projects that the Labour Party-led administration was desirous of carrying out before leaving office in 2015. In another highlight,
I am pleased to formally announce that the government of St. Kitts and Nevis and National Housing Corporation NHC has signed a contract with East Coast Housing Development, a Trinidadian-based developer, to finance and deliver 2,400 affordable smart homes over a period of 4 years, 600 of which will be made available each year.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Housing and Human Settlements St. Kitts, Dr. Geoffrey Hanley. He made the announcement in a statement to the nation on Friday, May 5th. The ECHD, or East Coast Housing Development Limited, affordable smart homes will have 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, or 3-bedroom options and will utilize a modern reinforced concrete system. But who is funding this landmark project?
EC's $600 million has been sourced by this developer to fund the project, and the government of St. Kitts and Nevis through NHC will facilitate the development and be the point of access for the citizens who are interested in procuring a smart home.
Dr. Jeffrey Hanley. We have lost one of our good citizens, the words of Everett Weber Herbert, manager of One Radio. He was at the time reflecting on the passing of Benita Walters, passed away on April 25th, known to the Nivision community as Auntie Vanny, and more particularly to the Vaughan Radio Powerhouse team, as one of its foremost supporters and defenders. Here is Mr. Herbert in his comments.
It is not very often that we are blessed with a soul such as Auntie Vanny. She became a part of the Powerhouse team from its inception and remained loyal throughout. She never wavered.
Mr. Everett Weber Herbert. The Powerhouse listeners continue to remember her for her birthday requests that she sent for family and friends at home and abroad who were celebrating. The birthday greeting show was renamed in her honor. Auntie Vanny was laid to rest on Monday, May 15th. An investigation was carried out into the circumstances that led to an overseas visitor's untimely demise at a hotel in St. Kitts. On May 9, 2023, Emergency Medical Services EMS received a call for assistance from Mr. Gary Welsh, an elderly Caucasian man who had fallen down the stairs of the hotel. Mr. Welsh arrived early that day on vacation with his family. Both EMS and police force responded to the scene, and Mr. Welsh was transported to the JNF General Hospital for treatment via ambulance, but succumbed to his injuries on the way to the hospital. In a statement, the police expressed condolences to Mr. Welsh's family and all those impacted by his sudden passing. Alive and progressing were the words a spokesperson for the police here on Nevis used in reference to a woman who was shot during a robbery on the island earlier this month. That's earlier in the month of May. On Saturday, May 13th, according to a police statement, Jamila Wallace of Cherry Garden was approached by 2 armed assailants while she was parked in Mem's Pizzeria yard after the business had closed. The robbers demanded money and proceeded to steal her bag and phone. Upon realizing there was a robbery in progress, the staff closed the business entrance doors. The robbers then fired several shots at the building, wounding staff member Maria Merchant of Stony Grove. Premier of Nevis, the Honorable Mark A.G. Brantley, announced that for Culturama, there would not be a Mr. Cool contest in 2023.
We apologize for the absence of the Mr. Cool competition this year. We are working on rebranding that particular competition and expect to have it back for Culturama 50. And of course, next year, Culturama 50, we are also having a homecoming celebration where we're inviting all Nevisians and Kittitians and all friends of St. Kitts and Nevis from all parts of the globe to come home for Culturama 50.
The Honorable Mark Brantley. And those were the highlights for the month of May. Now on to the month of June. During the months of April 2023 and May 2023, the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis recorded an uptick in the number and frequency of robberies, larcenies, and thefts, a release from the police says in early June. The police force had been actively monitoring the developments. So far, their efforts had not been in vain. 2 males, namely Akeem Sage and Prince Patterson, had already been arrested and charged for a number of armed robberies committed in St. Kitts in April. There was an increase in large social gatherings, fetes, events, and festivals during the months. This increase in socializing created a number of conditions in which criminal elements felt emboldened to commit nefarious acts. Such was the case on May 28, 2023, where multiple larcenies on unattended vehicles were reported as having occurred at Reggae Beach, Southeast Peninsula. The Ministry of National Security provided the general public with an update on the status of the 14 Cameroon nationals who were rescued at sea on March 28th. Even though it was confirmed by the commander of the St. Kitts and Nevis Defence Force, Mr. J. Anthony Comrie, that one of the Cameroonian, Nicholas Archie, was still at large, a decision was made for the detainees to be released and relocated to an apartment complex in St. Kitts with a view to increase their comfort and sovereignty. A press release stated that on June 8, 2023, the United Nations High Commission for Refugees granted the Cameroon nationals asylum seeker status. Meantime, Haitian nationals who were kept in detention were released into the care of the local Haitian community according to a press release. On February 2, 2023, 15 Haitian nationals arrived in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis after their boat malfunctioned in the areas of Gallows Bay. According to the statement, following the incident, the government of St. Kitts and Nevis has kept the individuals' basic needs satisfied and provided them with health care while in a government facility. As of June 10th, the individuals had been released to the community following a decision made by the government for humanitarian reasons. In more national news,
Happy birthday, you're 35. Happy birthday.
the Eastern Caribbean's powerhouse Von Radio celebrated its 35th anniversary. The station opened its doors to serve the public on June 18, 1988. History was made on Nevis with the establishment of the island's first radio station by BVI Nivision resident and founder of Von Radio, Mr. Merritt Herbert, now deceased. With its motto, "Only the best will do," through the years, Von Radio, dubbed the Caribbean's powerhouse, has stood tall. Meanwhile, the managing director of Von Radio, Mrs. Delka Herbert Verdelos, who is the daughter of the late Merritt Herbert, gave some remarks in regards to Von Radio's 35th anniversary.
35 years of bringing you information, news, music, and general entertainment. How fitting that the 35th anniversary of Von fell on Father's Day. It is a true testament to my father Merritt Herbert's vision and his quest to provide this communications vehicle to his homeland. I pray that he continues to smile in glory at the continued growth and value provided to Nevis, St. Kitts, other islands of the Eastern Caribbean, the Greater West Indies, as well as the entire world through streaming services.
Mrs. Herbert Verdelos also expressed her gratitude.
I take this opportunity to thank Everett Webbo Herbert for steering the ship for all these years. Thank you for putting Von Radio on a growth track for continued success. It truly would not be the same without your continued commitment to excellence. I pray that God will continue to guide, protect, and bless you as you deal with the day-to-day management, as well as continued efforts to make Von even better as you remind us regularly, only the best will do. A special thank you to the staff who carry the torch daily to provide entertainment and news, as well as the administration of the daily on-air content and related schedules. Whether you're on the air or behind the scenes, please know that your dedication and commitment are valued more than you know. We couldn't do it without you.
Mrs. Delka Herbert Verdelos. Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew extended condolences to family of former Governor General, His Excellency S.W. Tapley Seaton, GCMG, CVO, KC, JP, LLD on his passing and lauded him for his yeoman service. Nevis's Premier, the Honourable Mark Brantley, issued a statement of condolence. Sir Tapley Seaton passed away on Thursday, 29 June 2023. Premier Brantley said, "His life was a life spent in service to the people of our beloved country and region." His Excellency Sir Tapley Seaton was afforded a state funeral on Thursday, July 20th. And that's it for the month of June. Here are the highlights for the month of July. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis officially launched its Elevate program at the NEMA Conference Room on Saturday, July 1st. Elevate effectively revamps the Alternative Lifestyle Pathways Program, ALPP, alias the Peace Program. The program was introduced in March 2019 under the then Team Unity administration, with the aim of helping at-risk individuals and gang members to make a transition from a life of crime to a productive lifestyle through alternative ventures such as entrepreneurship, etc. The Elevate program will run for a period of 2 years. 4 men were sent to His Majesty's Prison in St. Kitts by His Honour Ronald Benjamin on Monday, July 3rd on multiple drug possession and importation charges. The charges were previously laid following a major drug find by local authorities on a cargo boat. MB Elizabeth C. at the St. Kitts Deepwater Port on October 4, 2022. The contraband consisted of cocaine and cannabis. The cocaine registered a weight of 801.3 kilograms, that's 1,762.86 pounds, with a street value of $71,369. That's $71,369. The cannabis had a street value of $140,160. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis extended sympathies to the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, the Honourable Dr. Terence Drew, on the passing of his father and cultural icon Michael Mike Stokes. That's Michael Mike Stokes Heiliger on Monday, July 3rd. The veteran calypsonian, musician and radio personality died at 69 years of age. He was well known within the Federation and across the region for his musical talents. His lyrical expertise was made evident in his impressive collection of songs, including One Shot Man. In 2020, he was awarded the St. Kitts Nevis Medal of Honor for his contribution to the music industry. Concerns from the early childhood sector within the Ministry of Education St. Kitts were brought to the fore by Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Education Dr. Jeffrey Hanley on July 13th. One of them surrounds the number of vacation times.
The providers, especially the nursery, they are given a vacation just once per year, that is in December, and there is a little bit of a burnt out. And I'm happy to report, although I'm waiting for the final report, that this year we are going to make a change in that, and those nursery providers will be given some relief in terms of extra vacation plus the December vacation.
Dr. Jeffrey Hanley. Monday, July 31st was a day of celebration and reflection in the studios of Vaughan Radio, as the station, along with the family members of the late Vanita Walters, popularly known as Auntie Vanny, acknowledged the contribution and achievements of the loyal supporter of Vaughan Radio on what would have been her 70th birthday. Speaking on behalf of the family was daughter of Anita Walters, Mrs. Tricia Mungery.
Thank you to Mr. Herbert and the entire staff of Vaughan Radio. We are indeed elated that this step was taken. We do appreciate everything that the staff here at Vaughan Radio has done for my mom in the past, present, and continue into the future.
Speaking on the many contributions of Mrs. Walters to Vaughan Radio was General Manager Mr. Everett Weber Herbert.
Just to let the public know that it was not just the birthday greeting show. She took care of everything and everybody. There are certain things that when the station is having an anniversary and stuff like that, she will call me and she would say, our day coming up soon, you know. And that was her part, and Auntie Mary and so on. We got a host of folks. So I want to thank you all for continuing what she did.
And that ends our highlights for July. Up next is highlights from the month of August. For this year's Culturama, reigning Junior Kaiso monarch Princess Nevaeh won the Greenhouse Band Junior Kaiso contest on Wednesday, August 2nd at the Charlestown Waterfront, Nevis, a two-peat for the young Kaisonian. Two persons tied for second runner-up, Zenobia Johnson, known as Mighty Zen, and Diquan Hendrickson, Diquan. Also, Neville Douglas, sponsored by Stage Right, won the Miss Cultural Swimmer pageant. For the Soca Monarch finals, Deli Rank was crowned the C49 Soca Groovy King, while Speedy coming in at first runner-up and second runner-up going to X-Men. Daddy Tusty capped the title of Power King, with Speedy gaining first runner-up position and second runner-up Soca Empress. 8 finalists competed in the TDC Senior Kaiso Monarch finals on Friday, August 4th. Andrew Nisbet, singing name Hollywood, captured the top spot and became the 2023 King. First runner-up This and That, and second runner-up Nutsy. Sunday night, August 6th, the Bank of Nevis Limited Miss Culture Queen pageant was held at the Cultural Complex. In the end, Miss Four Seasons Resort Nikesha Henry emerged as the winner. For the Road March, Core Band won, David's Dynasty won in the Full Course segment, Mango Fantasy in the Float, and Four Seasons won in the Fantasy segment. All of these were results from the street parade. The Emancipation Juve Jump Up, or August Monday, was held on Nevis. Unfortunately, during the event, a tragedy occurred on the Long Point Road in the vicinity of Hosford's Valleymat. Preliminary investigations indicate that at Long Point, The trailer's weight exceeded the tractor's ability and pushed it down the hill off the road and crashed. Based on videos and photos circulating on social media, they show passengers of the music trailer jumping off the sound system as it careened off the roadway and into a ditch. Reports say 5 people were injured during the incident. Police told the VOA Newsline that 5 persons were treated at the Alexandra Hospital. Many others sustained minor injuries but chose not to seek medical attention. The 4 nationals from Nevis who encountered difficulty at sea returned safely to the Federation. In light of the safe arrival of the individuals, Prime Minister Dr. Terence Roos said on Facebook, "I am grateful that our 4 nationals from Nevis who were lost at sea are safe. Let us give thanks for their welcomed ending." This welcome ending. St. Kitts and Nevis's Coast Guard said they received information of a missing vessel that was returning from Anguilla's Pokeroni Bend on August 12th, which encountered difficulty at sea. A search was conducted by the St. Eustatius Coast Guard, where they found an overturned vessel and none of the occupants. St. Kitts and Nevis's Coast Guard during the search and rescue efforts. However, St. Martin authorities informed St. Kitts and Nevis's authorities that they were found alive. What is being done to remedy the water situation? Premier of Nevis, the Honourable Mark Brantley, provided these details in early August.
The ministry has engaged the services of Mr. Skip Hogue, and he comes from an entity called Bear Rock Consulting, B-E-A-R, Bear Rock Consulting, and that is an entity in the U.S. He is currently on island to carry out surveys and mapping in our quest to find additional water. This includes a review of the available geophysical, hydrological, and geological data. It is hoped that at the end of this exercise we will be in a position to determine the location of possible drill sites. Areas identified are Stony Hill, Dason's Estate, Brazier's Estate, Hicks Estate, Hog Valley, and Morgan Estate.
And former matron at the Alexandra Hospital and supporter of On Radio, Mrs. Aldris Pemberton Diaz, passed away on Monday, August 28, 2023. Speaking on her contribution and well-known character were colleagues who were recipients of her knowledge and tutelage over the past years.
In memory of our dear colleague, Matron Aldris Pemberton Diaz, we are saddened at this time. Death has taken away a genuinely warm individual.
Matron Diaz was a very compassionate and caring person, but yet stern. She knew how to articulate to get the job done.
Nursing was her passion, and she served with distinction. She gave it her all, 110%. She was compassionate, caring, and loving.
Matron Diaz was known for her stellar service to the people of Nevis in her beloved profession of nursing, along with being a pillar of support for Vaughan Radio over the years. And that ends our highlights from May to August. When we come back, September to December highlights will be presented by Mr. Jarvis Brown.
Right near you. Ram's the good food people in store specials for you.
Welcome back, and now on to highlights from September to December. First, in September, ahead of the official start of the 2023-2024 academic year, the Department of Education and Nevis issued an updated students' hair policy which applies to all public schools on the island. The rules applied to pre-primary and secondary public schools on Nevis effective September 4th, 2023, which was the official start of the 2023-2024 school year. For the males, it says hair should not be longer than 2 inches in length. Hair should be neat and well groomed. This means hair should not be braided. For the females, extensions are permitted, but only conservative and protective hairstyles should be used. These should be no longer than shoulder length. If extensions are longer, they will have to be removed or adjusted. Wigs or weaves are not allowed. Still in the highlights, the Nevis Reformation Party NRP officially announced its new caretaker or candidate for Nevis number 5, that's St. Thomas's Parish, in the person of Mr. Rohan Michael Isles. A press release on the party says Mr. Isles was voted in by the NRP's National Executive Committee on Tuesday, September 5th. It also comes following NRP St. Thomas constituency group issuing a call in July for interested individuals to apply for the role of caretaker, who will then run in the Nevis Island Assembly elections due in 2027. Mr. Isles ran on NRP's ticket in the 2022 general elections or federal elections and the Nevis Island Assembly elections held in December 2022 for the constituencies of 10 and 3 respectively. The Assisted Child Care for Toddlers and Infants on Nevis, or Action Plan Daycare Assistance Program, was officially launched by the Department of Gender Affairs on Nevis within the Nevis administration on Thursday, September 7th. The program provides vouchers of up to $300 per month for parents to pay child care service costs. Single parents earning EC $2,000 a month or less are eligible for the program, and dual parent households earning $3,000 or less per month. Children must be citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis aged 3 years or younger. The vouchers will be provided for a maximum of 2 children per household. One of the ways to ensure the care gap for health is bridged is through Universal Health Coverage, UHC, which is the right to every human being able to access health care regardless of their ability to pay. This is Prime Minister and Federal Minister of Health, Dr. Terence Drew, mentioning that.
Our government recognizes that the time to act on NCDs and universal health coverage is now. Universal health care coverage is one of our priorities. To this end, our government, in collaboration with the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, and experts from the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine campus, is in the process of establishing a national health insurance scheme, whereby a package of essential health services, including NCD management and care, will be made accessible to everyone in the Federation. The implementation of NHI scheme will be just one intervention to combat the NCD challenge.
That was Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew. As part of an initiative called Independence 40 Reset, other measures were introduced by Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew aimed at revitalizing the nation and expressing gratitude to its hardworking citizens. They come as we celebrated our 40th year of independence on September 19th. The Independence 40 Reset program consisted of 6 initiatives, namely Workers Reset, Electricity Arrears Reset, Water Services Arrears Reset, Housing Arrears Reset, Land, that's LAND Reset, and the Building Materials Reset or Build and Thrive Incentive. Workers Reset in particular was a token of appreciation for civil servants and employees as a whole for their dedicated efforts and contributions towards nation building. The government provided a one-time payment of EC $1,000 to contributors to the Social Security Fund. In other news, of small Piper single-engine plane crashed in the waters off Herbert's Beach, Nevis, close to the evening hours of Wednesday, September 20th. Reports indicate that it was traveling from Antigua to St. Martin. The plane developed engine trouble and attempted to land at Vance Amory International Airport, but dropped short in the sea on approach. The individuals were the pilot, who is from St. Martin, and a student pilot from Anguilla. They were the only ones on board. They swam ashore after the plane crashed with only a minor injury to the pilot. Emergency teams responded to the scene and the aircraft was removed from the water. Coast Guard in St. Kitts responded to a distress call on the Atlantic side of the island in St. Kitts on Wednesday evening, September 20th as well. A Coast Guard plane from Martinique also assisted in the search for the vessel. Reports coming out of St. Kitts indicated the vessel had Haitians on board. In an update, the Deputy Commissioner of Police told the VOA Newsline at that time a total of 10 persons, including a 2-year-old child, were rescued from the distressed vessel and taken into police custody. Nevis was described by Travel Magazine as having the Caribbean's best-kept secret. The Travel.com mentions the island as a perfect destination for the family vacations, romantic getaways, and golf enthusiasts with its diverse tourism offerings and world-class golf getaways. The Travel.com is a travel and adventure publisher for all of your travel inspiration and destination needs. The Travel.com listed top 10 hotels in Nevis, and among them were Four Seasons Resort Nevis and Montpelier Plantation and Beach. Her Excellency Nerys Dockery, Ambassador and Permanent Representative of St. Kitts and Nevis to the United Nations UN, was recalled to Bastille for consultations with immediate effect. Sources out of St. Kitts say it came following rants by Ms. Dockery made on social media about inward fighting within the Labour Party. A release from the federal government says the government remains committed to promoting the interests of St. Kitts and Nevis within the international community and to advancing its principled foreign policy. Back in September, in that respect, an interim representative who was undergoing the accreditation process was identified by the government. And that was the highlights for September. Up next is October. An incident which occurred on Friday night, that's actually back in October, on 4th Street, St. Kitts, that included Ambassador Mr. Leonata Nelson, was circulated via video on social media as he confronted a male bystander who Mr. Nata claims interfered with his 8-year-old son. In the video, Mr. Nata Nelson was heard with explicit language in front of a number of bystanders. The incident caused widespread speculation and a number of comments from the general public. In responding to the incident, Mr. Nata Nelson issued a letter of apology. Later on, a 19-year-old was arrested and charged for the offense of robbery. Police arrested and charged T.J. Hodge of Molyneux, St. Kitts on Friday, October 6th at the Tabernacle Police Station. Forbes magazine has highlighted 5 top reasons Four Seasons Resort Nevis should be your dream Caribbean escape. According to Forbes.com, the reasons are 1. The property, 2. The rooms, 3. The dining, 4. The spa, and 5. The activities. Forbes is a global media company focusing on business, investing, technology, entrepreneurship, leadership, and lifestyle. BPW Nevis launched an initiative dubbed Go and Glow at the Pond Hill Community Center on Saturday, October 14th, which was geared towards girls aged 10 to 14 years. BPW Nevis, an affiliate club of BPW International, that's Business and Professional Women, was officially welcomed into the BPW family back in January of this year. Its members include influential women leaders, entrepreneurs, business owners, executives, professionals, and young business and professional women. Mikey Mills and Patrice Monzac, both of Newcastle Nevis, were sentenced to His Majesty's prison in connection with the 2018 robbery of the owner of Owali Beach Hotel. Each male received a sentence of 9 years for the offence of wounding with intent and 7 years for the offence of burglary. These sentences correspond with the November 8, 2018 robbery of John Yarwood. During the home invasion, Mr. Yarwood was shot when 2 armed masked assailants entered his home at Jones Estate. The 2 were reported to have been shot by Mr. Yarwood. They were hospitalized with gunshot wounds. Initially, 4 persons were detained by police in connection with the incident. In the wake of a fire which occurred at the Four Seasons Resort at Nevis on Tuesday night, October 31st, the resort issued an official statement expressing its thanks to the emergency services and the division public for its support, as well as confirming that there was no loss of lives nor injuries. It added, as we assess the extent of the damages and develop a plan for the restoration of the facilities, the Four Seasons Resort Nevis remains open and welcoming guests. Based on preliminary reports, the gym and pro-shop areas at the resort were destroyed, but there is no damage to the main hotel or any of the guest rooms or villas. Thus far, officials said the cause of blaze was yet to be determined at that time. Officials confirmed to the VOA Newsline that the truck had a slight mechanical issue at that time in October. Furthermore, though there have been discrepancies as to why the tender at the Vance Amory International Airport was used, Divisional Fire Officer of the Nevis Division of the Fire and Rescue Services, Mavis Archibald, said that the truck, which is part of the division's fleet, was necessary because of the tank size. But what caused the fire?
With full support of the resort, local authorities conducted an investigation of the recent fire at the fitness center and pro shop at Four Seasons Resort Nevis and determined the cause was related to a malfunctioning piece of equipment. The property engineering team, alongside external experts, are now reviewing mechanical and electrical equipment on property as they look to further enhance already stringent engineering and maintenance policies and procedures.
That was Premier of Nevis, the Honourable Mark Brantley, on November 6th. Additionally, fitness services were relocated. Does the federal government, in light of this, see the need to invest in additional fire tenders for the island of Nevis?
With respect to the situation with the fire tenders, I spoke to the ministry, the PS, and she has presented that, and that has gone to the Ministry of Finance as well. And this is before the fire at Four Seasons, because our inventory showed that we needed to act on the assets, the physical aspects, in terms of equipment and tenders and so forth. So, yes, I will say to Vaughan Radio, yes.
Those were October's highlights, now on to November's. Sadler's Secondary School in St. Kitts closed early on Thursday, November 2nd, following a report of a gun being found on a student's person, in a student's bag rather, at the institution. SKN's Education Media Unit EMU issued a notice which stated parents and guardians of students at Sadler's Secondary School are informed that the Ministry of Education has made a decision to switch to remote learning for Thursday, November 2nd as we seek to resolve an issue at the school. At the time of the notice, the EMU said parents will be informed whether students will return to school or continue remote learning. However, sources in St. Kitts have told the VOA Newsland that teachers held a strike and decided not to teach until the issue is resolved. Since then, in-person learning resumed. When will there be action on the ban of single-use plastic? Moreover, the ban will have to be conducted in a phased approach. This was Federal Minister of Environment, Dr. Joel Clark.
The next step is actually banning the importation of certain plastic items. And that, again, is a discussion with our key stakeholders, the wholesalers and the importers, customs and the Ministry of Finance, because we understand, and that's why we started with our No Plastic Bag Mondays, that the public has to get accustomed to not getting a plastic bag. And then they have to be accustomed to not being served food in styrofoam containers or eating with a plastic fork or drinking from a plastic straw.
That was Federal Minister of Environment, Dr. Joel Clark. The Nevis Island Administration, NIA, signed a contract with Perez Engineering Construction and Consulting Services Limited to undertake a project that will see the expansion and upgrade of the Vance W. Amory International Airport. Perez Engineering and Development, Inc., based in Key West, Florida, is a professional engineering consulting firm providing services in the public, industrial, military and private sectors for more than 20 years. The signing ceremony took place at the Ministry of Finance on Friday, November 10th. Division Tajana David ranked number 1 in the Federation and the Caribbean for the Certificate of Secondary Level Competence or CCSLC 2023 Regional Merit List by subject, specifically English. Miss David, a 4th form student at the Charleston Secondary School CSS, told the VOA Newsline she was shocked.
When I initially saw the report, I was shocked as I didn't even know such a thing existed, and I am very proud of myself for achieving such an accomplishment. I'm very happy and I'm very proud and pleased with myself.
That was Mr. John David. Also, Joshua Brown of Nevis Digital Literacy, Nigel Miller and Amendius Woodley Mathematics, both of Washington Archibald High School, were on the merit list. Still in the national news segment.
We are really looking at a possible increase in 2024 of our water rates. I'm saying it because we will have to decide on that very shortly as we are aware the budget discussion is ongoing. But I want to say to the people of Nevis that in 2024 there is serious consideration for the increase of our water rates.
That was Minister with Responsibility for Water Services on Nevis, the Honourable Spencer Brand. The water rates will increase in March 2024. The Integrity in Public Life Amendment Bill 2023 was passed in the Nevis Island Assembly on Tuesday, November 21st, and it seeks to amend Section 32B2 by deleting subparagraph in its entirety, which states one member appointed on the recommendation of the Leader of the Opposition. That subparagraph will be replaced with, if there is no Leader of the Opposition, then the Deputy Governor General may appoint a member on the advice of the member or members of the opposition, provided that where there is no member of the opposition or the members of the opposition cannot agree on a nominee, then a member will be appointed on the advice of the Premier after consultation with members of the opposition, if any. A resolution on developing geothermal energy on Nevis was passed in the National Assembly on Monday, November 20th. It was read by Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew. Premier and Minister of Public Utilities and Energy on Nevis, the Honourable Mark Brantley, hailed the passing of the resolution as an historic national development and expressed his gratitude to the federal government. The Nevis Island administration secured a $17 million recovery grant from Caribbean Development Bank CDB in December of last year for the project. And former Minister of Tourism in the previous Team Unity-led administration, Lindsay Grant, was ordered to pay a fine of $1,500 EC on each charge in relation to battery of a police officer and assaulting a police officer. His sentence was held on Tuesday, November 21st and came following his conviction on November 14th. The fines were to be paid forthwith or in default, serve 1 month imprisonment on each charge at His Majesty's prison. The fines were paid at the cashiers at the Magistrate Department and Mr. Grant was discharged. The charges are in connection with an incident involving him, Mr. Grant, accosting police officers on January 8, 2022 at the Last Lap Bar in Birdwalk, St. Kitts. A video depicting Mr. Grant in a verbal spat with law enforcement officers made rounds on social media in SKN. And November 30th marked the official end of the 2023 Atlantic hurricane season. Every year the Atlantic hurricane season runs from June 1st to November 30th. In terms of the forecast for the season, NOAA, that's the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, announced that there was a 60% likelihood of the hurricane season being above average. NOAA's forecast anticipated 14 to 21 named storms, and in September Hurricane Lee passed northeast of SKN with winds of up to 150 miles per hour but did not significantly impact our nation. On October 3rd, Tropical Storm Philippe passed near St. Kitts and Nevis. However, Met and disaster officials reported no major or significant damage occurred in the Federation and minimal damage occurred. That's actually no major or significant damage in St. Kitts and minimal damage on Nevis. Later on in October, following the passage of Hurricane Tammy, authorities reported that roads were damaged across Nevis and flooding occurred. However, there was no loss of life in general. And that was November's highlights. We will now move on to December. SKN and CARICOM extended condolences to the family of the late Dr. Carissa Etienne, former director of the Pan-American Health Organization, PAHO, and the World Health Organization's WHO Regional Director for the Americas. The 71-year-old from Dominica passed away in the U.S. in the early hours of Friday, December 1st. Dr. Etienne collapsed in her bathroom hours after being given a clean bill of health by her doctor after undergoing back surgery earlier this year, a close friend said. After 2 to 3 days of debates, the Nevis Appropriation 2024 Bill 2023 was passed in the Nevis Island Assembly on Thursday, December 7th. The bill is to provide certain sums of money for the use of public service for the island of Nevis for the financial year commencing January 1st, 2024 and ending on December 31st, 2024. The bill is to the tune of $282.7 million. For the federal government, Prime Minister and Minister of Finance Dr. Terence Drew presented the 2024 federal budget address, which features the first reading of the Appropriation 2024 Bill 2023 on December 13th. The bill, which was passed in the National Assembly on Tuesday, December 19th, is to the tune of $1.09 billion. An earthquake with a magnitude of 4.6 occurred near Basti, St. Kitts, the University of the West Indies Seismic Research Center, UWI SRC says. UWI said that the quake took place on Saturday morning, December 9th at 10:27 a.m. So far, the strongest quake recorded over a week before this had a magnitude of 6.0. In an attempt to alleviate fears and concerns about the recent spate of quakes in the region earlier this month, the Eastern Caribbean in particular, UWI SRC says we usually record daily earthquakes. They are of a bigger magnitude. We should all ensure that we prepare, plan and practice individually, nationally and regionally. Earlier this month, the world and St. Kitts and Nevis in particular faced an upsurge in dengue transmission. With over 4.1 million cases globally, the region of the Americas is among the regions reporting the highest number of cases ever registered based on information from WHO. According to a statement from the Office of the Chief Medical Officer, CMO, in St. Kitts and Nevis during 2023, the Federal Ministry of Health, MOH, reported 185 laboratory-confirmed cases of dengue, with 47 cases for St. Kitts and 138 cases for Nevis at that time earlier this month. And in terms of crime statistics for the 2023 year, St. Kitts and Nevis has 31 homicides, 27 in St. Kitts, 4 here on Nevis. There were 38 seized firearms, 36 in St. Kitts, 2 on Nevis. We have recorded 1 drowning incident, 1 death by fire, which was in St. Kitts, an 80-year-old elderly woman. And we have 7 road fatalities, 5 in St. Kitts and 2 here on Nevis. And that brings us to the end of our national news highlights. When we come back, we will bring to you regional news highlights with Miss Shamika Bajan.
Sports Bar and Grill, located at Main Street, Gingerland, opposite the Best Buy supermarket. Opens every day at 12 noon. The menu includes chicken wings, burgers and fish sandwiches, fish bites and chicken bites, pizzas, salad, and their tasty special menu from Thursdays to Saturdays. Don't forget to enjoy your happy hour at the bar every Wednesday. And for your continued pleasure, 869 also hosts private events such as birthday parties, bridal shower, even tea parties for kids. You name it, we do it. Contact us today at 469-6300. 869 Sports Bar and Grill, where you'll always have a seat here.
If it's up, then it's stuck. If it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's stuck, huh?
Welcome back, and now the regional news segment for January to December 2023. Venezuela's opposition National Assembly voted to remove interim President Juan Guaido, dissolve his government and appoint a commission to govern the country's foreign assets as lawmakers seek a united front ahead of elections slated for 2024. Guaido has been the public face of Venezuela's fraction's opposition since 2019, when he invoked the constitution to assume an interim presidency, garnering backing from the United States and other governments who reject the 2018 re-election of President Nicolas Maduro as fraudulent. Out of Antigua and Barbuda, the Antigua and Barbuda Party narrowly won the general elections with 9 seats. The United Progressive Party snuck 6 seats from the Antigua-Barbuda Labour Party and retained their 1 seat from 2018. The Barbuda People's Movement will continue to represent the people of Barbuda in Parliament. The Democratic National Alliance had no luck whatsoever in securing a spot in the lower house. This will be Antigua and Barbuda's Labour Party 3rd consecutive term in office, with Prime Minister Gaston Brown leading his team to victory each time. He credits this win to his party's resilience. Gunmen in Haiti on Sunday, February 12, seized 3 worshippers as they left a church whose pastor, Deacon Slina Lafay, was shot and killed in September 2021 during a kidnapping attempt, according to CaribbeanNationalWeekly.com. The authorities said the three parishioners were preparing to return home after the 6:30 a.m. service at the First Baptist Church of Port-au-Prince, located near the National Palace. That should be the official residence of the head of state, when they were kidnapped by heavily armed individuals. United States law enforcement authorities arrested and charged Walter Vetimea in connection with the July 2021 assassination of Haitian President Jovenel Moïse at his private residence overlooking the capital, Port-au-Prince. Vehimiah, who has been described as a U.S. financier living in Florida, was charged with conspiracy to kill or kidnap a person outside the U.S., among other charges. The authorities said a Miami-based security company that hired the mercenaries for the mission had turned to Vehimiah for funding. The Governor's Office of Anguilla, in a statement on October 6th, has expressed shock over the series of shootings and confirmed news of the tragic death of a 14-year-old boy. Acting Premier of Anguilla, Hayden Hughes, made an address to the nation following the series of firearm-related incidents during that week. A male student of the Albina League Hajj Comprehensive School was also injured during a shooting incident at the James Reynold Webster Park around 12 p.m. and was taken to a hospital. Then, on December 12th, police in Anguilla say the victims of a horrific shooting incident that occurred at a funeral led to the demise of an 18-year-old and a 74-year-old man. The Anguilla law enforcement has launched an active investigation to bring those responsible to justice. Although the 2023 hurricane season did not officially begin, the National Hurricane Center, NHC, reported the first tropical wave of the season in May. The Atlantic hurricane season runs annually from June 1st to November 30th, but tropical cyclone activity sometimes occurs before and after these dates. The first tropical wave of the hurricane season reached the coast of Sierra Leone and Liberia, the NHC said in a bulletin. According to AccuWeather, a tropical wave is an area of low pressure in the atmosphere, typically situated north to south, moving westwards from Africa into the Atlantic. The Caribbean Examination Council CXC identified that an examination breach leak originated in Jamaica. Speaking to regional media, Registrar and CEO of CXC, Dr. Wayne Wesley, confirmed the leak of the 2023 Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate, CSEC Mathematics Paper 2. Dr. Wesley acknowledged that the fiasco was of great concern as the paper was distributed across the Caribbean. However, investigations identified the exam center or the examination center where the leak occurred, but CXC had not named the individuals involved. The regional examination body decided that the grading of the CSEC mathematics paper will be based on multiple choice examination paper 1 and the school-based assessment SBA or paper 3 to the alternative of the SBA. A deadly fire at a school dormitory in Guyana appears to have been started by a pupil who was angry that her mobile phone had been confiscated, officials say. 19 people comprised of 18 girls and 1 boy were killed in the blaze in the early hours of Monday, May 22nd. The dorm was reportedly locked and had covered windows which trapped the victims. The teenage suspect was also warded in a hospital with burns and has reportedly admitted to the arson. Authorities charged her with multiple counts of murder, according to the AFP news agency. The fire started in the bathroom area of the dorm and eventually tore through the whole building, which was partially made of wood and housed 57 pupils. Survivors of the incident in the central town of Mahida that should be Madia, spoke of being woken up in the middle of the night by screams. A U.S. Navy officer was charged in October after being accused of hiring hitmen to kill a Jamaican politician's daughter and the child's mother. Leota Bradshaw is facing charges including capital murder and kidnapping in connection to the death of Philip Paulwell's 10-month-old daughter, Soraya Paulwell, and 27-year-old Tashina Patterson, the Jamaican Observer reported, citing the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. Paulwell, 61, is a Member of Parliament for East Kingston and Port Royal, and also has a child with Bradshaw. The two were reportedly in a relationship together, officials say. Authorities alleged that when Bradshaw arrived in Jamaica in early September, she planned the crime for 3 individuals to carry out. They were identified as Richard Brown, Roshane Miller, and her cousin, Roland Balfour. On Monday, October 30th, Jamaica experienced the strongest earthquake to occur on the island since the 1957 tremor that struck Montego Bay. Throughout the year, Jamaica and the Caribbean have been shaken by an unusual surge in seismic activity, with over 300 earthquakes being documented between January and November. The earthquake unit at the University of the West Indies in Kingston has been recording these occurrences, shedding light on the unprecedented events. Situated at approximately 10 kilometers south of Buff Bay, Portland, the epicenter of the October 30th earthquake left a profound mark on Jamaica's eastern region. Communities in the vicinity were shaken to their core, experiencing power outages and varying degrees of structural damage. The aftermath of the 5.6 magnitude earthquake was further compounded by the emergence of dozens of aftershocks, adding to the anxiety and uncertainty in affected areas. Meanwhile, both the Lesser and Greater Antilles have also been experiencing a number of earthquakes throughout the year. Guyana and Venezuela finally found common ground in their land dispute, leading to the establishment of the Declaration of Dialogue and Peace of Argyll. Both countries agreed not to threaten or use force against each other until any under any circumstances. They are in contention over an area of around 65,000 square kilometers, approximately 2/3 of Guyana's official total landmass west of the Essequibo River. The declaration came after almost 12 hours of mediation at the Argyll International Airport, about 13.5 kilometers east of the capital of Kingstown. In addition, Guyana's President Dr. Irfan Ali and President of Venezuela Nicolas Maduro agreed to meet again in Brazil in 3 months. The truce was delivered by St. Vincent and the Grenadines' Prime Minister Dr. Rolf Gonzalez, the pro tempore President of the Community of Latin America and the Caribbean States CELAC, who hosted the mediation. And Digicel Group founder and chairman Dennis O'Brien was reportedly set to lose a controlling stake in the company after it reached an agreement in principle with bondholders that will see the telecommunications giant reduce its debt pile by US $1.8 billion. O'Brien will retain a minority stake in Digicel and remain a director until the planned debt for equity swap deal, according to reports. The company said in a statement that O'Brien has endorsed the proposed transaction as a positive outcome for the recapitalized business. And here ends our highlights for the regional news segment. Up next, the international news with Miss Donella Thompson.
Get your dream home. Ooh, it's what you deserve. Yeah, yeah. National home loans. All could be yours. Walk through the door. Come take what you need. Get you the keys. All could be yours. What you deserve. National home loans. Get your dream home. Get your dream home. Get your dream home. Where you want to be. National home loans. your dream home. It's what you deserve. National Home Loans. Get your dream home.
National Home Loans. Home ownership made easy. When you're with National, you're home.
National Home Loans. Get your dream home.
Welcome back, and now for the international highlights. Singer Tina Turner, whose soul classics and pop hits like The Best and What's Love Got to Do With It made her a superstar, died at the age of 83. Turner had suffered a number of health issues in recent years, including cancer, a stroke, and kidney failure. She rose to fame alongside husband Ike in the 1960s with songs including Proud Mary, River Deep, and Mountain High. She divorced Ike in 1978 and went on to find even greater success as a solo artist in the 1980s. Dubbed the Queen of Rock and Roll, Tina Turner was famed for her raunchy and energetic stage performances and husky, powerful vocals. Lisa Marie Presley, the only child of rock and roll legend Elvis, died at the age of 54, her mother said. "It is with a heavy heart that I must share the devastating news that my beautiful daughter Lisa Marie has left us," Priscilla Presley said. Lisa Marie, also a singer, was rushed to the hospital early, and U.S. media said she suffered a cardiac arrest. The world's former oldest person, French nun Lucille Randon, died at the age of 118. Miss Randon, who assumed that's her name, Sister Andre, when she became a nun in 1944, died in her sleep at her nursing home in Toulon, France. Born in 1904, in southern France, she lived through 2 world wars and dedicated much of her life to Catholicism. "Only the good Lord knows the secret of her longevity," she told reporters. Beyoncé won a record-breaking 32nd Grammy Award, while Harry Styles won Album of the Year at this year's ceremony in Los Angeles. Beyoncé made history as she won Best Dance Electronic Album for her euphoric dance opus, Renaissance. In doing so, she overtook Hungarian-British conductor George Solti, whose record of 31 Grammys had stood for more than 20 years. "I'm trying not to be too emotional," said the star, accepting her prize. This year, Harry Styles took the crown, with Grammy voters recognizing the slick radio-friendly pop of his third record, Harry's House. A pastor from Mozambique, Africa, died after fasting for 40 days in an attempt to copy what Jesus Christ is said to have done in the Bible. The death of Francisco Baraja, the pastor and founder of the Santa Trinidade Evangelical Church in the central province of Manica, was confirmed. He died while being treated at a hospital in Beira, where he was said to be in critical condition. After 25 days of fasting, he had lost a lot of weight to a point where he could not stand up, bathe, or walk. Days later, at the insistence of relatives and believers, he was taken to a hospital, but attempts to get him back to health was unsuccessful. Hospitals in Alapolo didn't have enough room for new patients in the wake of the devastating earthquake, a doctor in the Syrian city told the BBC. At the Al-Razi Hospital, there were too many beds to fit into the wards. They reach end to end through corridors and into the chilly courtyard. More than 4,400 deaths and 7,600 injuries were reported in northwestern Syria since a 7.8 magnitude earthquake struck neighboring southern Turkey on February 6th. 5 members of the far-right Proud Boys, including former leader Enrique Tarrio, 5 decades in prison after being found guilty for their role in the January 6th U.S. Capitol riot. 4 were convicted of seditious conspiracy, and all 5 were found guilty of obstruction official proceedings alongside other felonies. The World Health Organization, WHO, declared that COVID-19 no longer represented a global health emergency. The statement represented a major step towards ending the pandemic and came 3 years after it was first declared its highest level of alert over the virus. Officials said the virus's death rate had dropped from a peak of more than 100,000 people per week in January 2021 to just over 3,500 on April 24th. And monkeypox was no longer a global public health emergency, the World Health Organization said, almost a year after the threat was raised. The virus was still around, and further waves and outbreaks would continue, but the highest level of alert was over, the WHO added. The Global Health Body's chief called on countries to remain vigilant. And that's the international news highlights. The sports highlights comes up next with Mr. Jarvis Brown.
Supermarket shoppers understand that convenience matters. At Hortsport's Value Mart IGA, we know that price matters most. Ample parking and the widest variety matter. At Hortsport's Value Mart IGA, we know that price matters most. Clean, spacious aisles and the highest level of customer service all matter. At Hortsport's Value Mart IGA, price matters most. We've renewed our commitment to guarantee the lowest prices in the Federation. Why? Because we understand that in this tough economic environment, price matters most. Shop smart. Shop Value Mart, where price matters most. Farms Estate Nevis and Wellington Road, St. Kitts.
Price matters most.
Welcome back, and now on to the sports. In football, thousands of mourners lined the streets as Brazilian football icon Pelé was laid to rest in Santos, the city of his former club. Pelé had been lying in state for 24 hours in the city of the pitch at the club's Urbanos Caldeiro Stadium for the public to pay their respects. People crowded the streets in January as his coffin was carried on a fire truck to a private family funeral. Pelé, a three-time World Cup winner, died at the age of 82 on December 29th. Arguably the world's greatest ever footballer, he had been receiving treatment for colon cancer since 2021. In some local sports, the Charleston Secondary School, CSS, was declared the winner of the Bank of Nevis Limited Nevis High School Track and Field Championship. The sports meet took place on Saturday, March 11th and Sunday, March 12th at the Nevis Athletic Stadium. Super Bowl winning comeback of the Kansas City Chiefs at the National Football League NFL in the USA, Joshua Adams, was in St. Kitts and Nevis, the native land of his father. The NFL player is the son of Mr. George Williams, who formerly resided in Molyneux, St. Kitts. For the 27th time, the Charles E. Mills Secondary School CEMSS out of St. Kitts won the TDC Inter-High School Championship March 24th to the 26th, amassing a total of 66 medals. 12 schools were slated to participate in the competition. Nevis' Charleston Secondary School CSS took the second place spot after amassing a total of 58 medals. Still in sports, Jennifer Harding Marlin was declared the winner of the 2023 Nevis Cross Channel Swim. The event took place on Sunday, March 26th at 8 a.m. Dr. William Connor Primary School won the Rams Inter-Primary School Championship in St. Kitts, held over the period Saturday 1st to Sunday 2nd April in St. Kitts. Guyana Harpy Eagles secured a thrilling 17-1 victory over the Leeward Islands Hurricanes to win the West Indies Championship title and claim the Headley Weeks Trophy. Back in some local sports in Nevis, the Charleston Primary School won the 2023 Gulf Insurance Limited Bank of Nevis International Limited Inter-Primary School Championship, aka Mini Olympics, on Wednesday, April 5th, held at the Monduke Track on Nevis. The final medal count was as follows: the Charleston's Primary School, 21 gold, 18 silver, 12 bronze, a total of 51 medals. St. Thomas's Primary School, 32 medals. Then JLPS, 12 gold, 8 silver, 8 bronze, a total of 28 medals. St. Kitts and Nevis performed creditably at the concluded 50th Carifta Games held in the Bahamas, and Erskine placed 4th out of 21 countries. Jamaica won the games, clinching a total of 78 medals, but St. Kitts and Nevis won with 11 medals, 5 gold, 2 silver and 4 bronze. A brilliant half-century from Christian Lal led Trinidad and Tobago to the West Indies Rising Stars Under 15 Championship title as they defeated the Leeward Islands by 6 wickets at the Coolidge Cricket Ground in Antigua. The Nevis female cricket team won the Leeward Islands 50 overs competition when they defeated Antigua and Barbuda at ETW Park. Barbados women's team operated like a well-oiled machine in executing a victory over the Leeward Islands at Warner Park, St. Kitts to be crowned CG United Women's Super 50 Cup Championship champions for the third time in a row. In some basketball, Carmelo Anthony confirmed his retirement from basketball after a 20-year career in the NBA. A 10-time NBA All-Star, the 38-year-old was one of the most prolific scorers in basketball history. St. Kitts won the recently concluded Leeward's Masters Cricket Tournament, and Shane Jeffers was the ultimate star of that event. In some more basketball, the Denver Nuggets clinched their first NBA title as a 94-89 win over the Miami Heat sealed a 4-1 series triumph. Kitishan Jazara Clarkson was drafted to the Barbados Royals women's cricket team during the women's CPL draft last week. As such, she played in the second edition of the Women's Caribbean Premier League WCPL. In some local sports once again, St. Paul's United are once again the SKNFA FA Cup champions after a 3-2 victory over Village Superstars at the Warner Park Warner Park in St. Kitts. In some football, in FIFA Women's World Cup rather, England's wait to win a first Women's World Cup title goes on after Spain deservedly triumphed in the final in Sydney. Spain beat England 1-0. In some athletics, Sha'Carri Richardson, American sprinter, beat a star-studded field of rivals to claim her first major title in the 100 meters at the World Championships in Budapest. She defeated persons like Adina Ashton-Smith from Britain, Jamaica's Shericka Jackson and Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. Barbados Royals in some cricket again finished the 2023 Massey Women's Premier League WCPL season as champions as they wrapped up an 8-1 final win against Guyana Amazon Warriors. And for the men's CPL, Guyana Amazon Warriors won the 2023 Republic Bank Caribbean Premier League with a win over Trinbago Knight Riders, ensuring a maiden CPL title for the franchise. Darren Bravo has decided to take a break from cricket following his non-selection in the West Indies squad for the 3-match ODI series against England in December. And Anthony Davis scored 41 points to help the Los Angeles Lakers to victory against the Indiana Pacers in the NBA's first in-season tournament final. Davis registered 20 rebounds, 5 assists and 4 blocks, while the teammate LeBron James added 24 points and 11 rebounds in a 123-109 win. And that's it for sports. The weather is next. Welcome back. The weather tonight, mostly fair and cool. The weather tomorrow, partly sunny with a slight chance of a late afternoon shower. The winds are northeast at 9 to 22 kilometers per hour, becoming variable or calm tonight. The seas are 1 to 1.5 meters and the sunrise tomorrow will be at 6:39 a.m. And that's it for the weather, ending this year's edition of the Year in Review. I am Jarvis Brown, along with me Miss Shemika Budgeon and Miss Donella Thompson, and we're wishing you a wonderful evening, a great weekend, and a Happy New Year to all from us here at Von Radio.
National Home Loans. Home ownership made easy. When you're with National, you're home.
National Home Loans. Get your dream home.
vibrates.